Hello. So today I want to tell you about the game Tack. And this is from Zorua Games. This is a review copy that I was given. And this is a two-player game that is full of strategy where you are trying to get your boat to the lighthouse first, using dice to move back and forth in columns. And it also has a solo mode that works surprisingly well. So in this game, you have this board where each player is going to have dice placed here. And these are going to be your columns because the board will be horizontal. So they will be columns. And then you have this lighthouse track that both players are going to start with their boats on at the 0 position. And your goal is to get to the lighthouse first. Once one person gets to the lighthouse, that's it, game over. If for some reason on the same turn you both get to the lighthouse and pass it, it's whoever did more, essentially. So if blue got to the lighthouse and I went to pass the lighthouse, I have the higher score. But generally, only one of you will reach the lighthouse on your turn. So you can play with no extra rules where you're just going to have your dice and be going to earn points. So you will have you have several different scoring options. So you have clear day, and there are 6 of those that you can play with. Then you have the nighttime variant, which lets you move horizontally, which you normally can't do. You can usually just move vertically. You have a cold day, which has you decrease the number on your dice that you're using that turn. And then you have a hot day, which if it's in this column, you will increase the number. So to start out, you're just going to be playing with a clear, normal day because we don't need anything too wild to happen yet. There are then also these wind rules that you can pick 3 of them randomly and add those to your game that are going to also change how things work in play. So you can really up the strategy and the difficulty of this game as you get going. So what this means is that in order to fulfill the conditions, if at any point all of the dice in this column equal 12, then everybody who has a dice there will move up 1 for each dice that is there. So if I had, let's say, 2 here and blue had 1, I would move up 2, they would move up 1. Now, if we ever exceed this number, everybody who has a dice there busts, you take it back, re-roll it, and put it in your starting position. So what you're going to do is get your 5 dice and roll them. And whoever has the higher total roll is actually only going to play with 4 dice is how it's set up. I have found that I don't love that. So we tend to play, everybody has 5 dice, unless I'm playing with someone much younger, like one of my nephews, then I'll play with 4 dice and they'll play with 5. So I get to place mine however I want on my starting positions. And this is technically off of the board. This recessed area is what's considered on the board. So you will do this. And on your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your dice and you're going to move it forward or backwards, the number that is on the dice. Now, you can never move off back into your own start or into the other person's start. So, let's see, we're going to move that down so that makes sense. So I could go 1, 2 as my first move. Now, this is 9. We're below 9 in that column, so we're good. We did not meet it, and we did not exceed it, so we did not bust. And maybe they're going to come in and go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're now at 6. So again, we have not met it or exceeded it, so nothing happens. Let's say I go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're fine. And then they come in, and I want to show how this works. So we're going to pretend they were already on the board. They're not. And they're going to go 1, 2, 3. So this now puts us at 9 exactly. So this is where they would move up 2. And I would move up 1, and I take my dice back and re-roll it and put it on my board in whichever open spot I want, and they take theirs and do the same. So we keep going back and forth like that, like I said, until someone reaches the lighthouse. And this is where, too, like where this is only a 2, and I could do 2 again on a future turn, and then I can move back 2. So you have that ability to move back and forth. And sometimes if you don't like your number, maybe you want to bust. Maybe you want to be able to re-roll it and bring it back to your start. So it's this tug of war game, but it's interesting because usually you are not going to meet this scoring condition with only your dice. You're generally going to meet it with a combination of your opponent's dice and your own dice, which means they're going to be getting points at the same time you're going to be getting points. So you're hoping that you meet the scoring condition with more dice than your opponent does, so that you are moving up farther on the track than they are. And then when you start throwing in some things like this, so this says the number 1 die may crush the opponent's die, adding its pip value. So I now would get their value added to my dice. Or the number 6 die may only move a maximum of 2 spaces per turn. Or -1, when a die moves backwards, it loses 1 pip. So then you're going to be changing those values more often than just when you bust. And like I said, too, with these, they give you some special abilities. So like I said, normally you can only move one direction, forward and backwards. However, if you then are in this column, you have the option to move the other direction as well. And then with the hot and the cold, you're changing your pip value. So there's a lot that you can do to really change how things score. And even with the clear day option, you have 5 different cards you can put in there that all have different numbers in different orders on there. So there's a lot of variability to this. There's a lot of strategy, but it plays quickly. And then in the solo version, you have this rescue boat that you are trying to get to the lighthouse before it crashes. So it has a great solo option. It's a lot of fun. It is just a back and forth tug of war game to reach the lighthouse first. So that is Tack. Let me know what you think. Give me a like and a follow, and I'll keep bringing you more board game content. Thanks. Bye.